Don't
Yeah, I called it up. There you go. There you go.
Making sure it don't hit any trees. What would happen if it hit a tree? I'm not even falling out there. Like, pull out here, the camera's gone.
He said it's half 3 miles. 3 miles.
Dude, you have to hold it up.
He's scared. He's scared.
I am holding it up. Well, this is where the Jeeps are. Hopefully it don't hit anything. If I dump the camera over, if it hits something. What is this? What is this, bro? Is this where you're taking pictures and stuff? This is
Okay, thank you all for coming. I said I was going to take you in the cave. I didn't say anything about taking you out. Y'all, we're going to take a picture up here. This is Miss Judy. She's going to take our picture.
All right, everyone, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, 11, Judy.
11.
Yeah. This first spot, low spot, is on the left-hand side here. I'm going to shine the spotlight on it, and I'll say everybody on the left or right side, whichever flies, duck your head. Best advice you'll ever have. If any of these people up here go out, duck lower.
I think I have to do this.
Okay, the first low spot is right here on the left.
Yeah, don't put cameras on.
Left-hand side, watch your head.
No, he's still bad. He's still.
Now look, the camera down.
Okay, on the left-hand side, got a lower spot. Duck lower. We don't have to worry about nothing for a while, maybe.
This is actually cool.
All right. Everybody looks over here. See how tore up this is? Looks like we got some crazy drivers. Well, we got some crazy drivers, but that's not what happened here. This is a garden. Yeah, a garden in a cavern. Back in the Depression era, 1930s. Hard on everybody, no jobs, no money. The owner of the cavern at that time was a pretty smart guy. He knew that he could plant a garden in here. Now it's 60 degrees year round, 100% humidity. When we turn the lights off, it's dark. Now there's only one thing that will grow under those circumstances. Anybody got any idea?
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms, exactly. Yeah, he'd plant button-top mushrooms, harvest them, take them into the local farmer's market, make a little bit of money. That's how he made it through the Depression. Like I said, he was a smart guy. He was a fun guy. Yeah, I do. Yeah, if everybody look up, you see these little icicle-looking things? Those are called soda straws because they're just like a soda straw. They're hollow in the middle. Now, water's going to be coming down from the surface there, and it's picking up different minerals as it goes through the soil. Yeah, a bit. Can you all hear me all right back there? Am I talking loud enough?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Yeah. Eventually, that minerals is going to stop up the hole in the soda straw. And whenever it does, then the water's got to go somewhere. So it's going to go down the outside of the soda straw and form stalactites, just like this. So these are baby stalactites. We're going to go up here and look at some older ones. But before we do, I'm going to point out something because everybody will say, what's that thing? Everybody look behind me, it looks like a cage. Well, what that is a 10-year evaporation study. Fantastic Caverns was formed by water. Water is what keeps this cavern alive. So we got a Tupperware bowl with water in it and a cage around it so nothing can get in. We got them all over the cavern. Every month we come by and check the amount of water in there to see if any particular part of the cavern is drying out quicker than the other. We've been doing it 3 years, everything is just fine, but we got steps that we could do to alleviate that. All right? Let's go up here and look at some older formations. That means you got to be living, and this fantastic cavern is a living cave. Now, if you look up, you're going to see little soda straws. You're going to see stalactites on, and that shows us that it's very much alive. And directly above us here, we've got some awesome stalactites. Now, this is called a cave curtain or cave drapery. Some people call it angel wing. Now you're going to see water dripping down there. That water is loaded with minerals. Remember we was talking about back there? Some of those minerals are going to stay up there. And that's one of the few things in the world grows down, and that is a stalactite. But that water dripping down still has lots of minerals in it. Drips right down to here. This is called a stalagmite. Everybody says, well, I don't know what the difference is. Well, a stalactite is tied to the ceiling. A stalagmite is attached to the ground, and it might grow up and meet a stalactite. If it does, it'll form a column or a pillar, and we're going to be looking at those up ahead here. Now, a stalagmite here is 5 feet tall. Start out as one drop of water. Here on this old riverbed, we're on a riverbed here. One drop of water. If y'all want to stand up where you can see better, that'd be fine too. Now, it's 5 feet tall. Does anybody want to guess about how old this particular stalagmite is? Anybody? Come in? 2 million. 2 million. 500 years. Any other? How much? 2 million. Okay, well, I'm not going to hurt somebody else.
500,000.
500,000. Okay. Well, they're all good guesses. I had a tour one night, and when we went to the mushroom bed, this guy asked him what they grew, and he said weed. Well, no, it wasn't weed, but he was familiar with weed because when we got here, I asked how long it was, and he said 24 hours. So, yeah, he was familiar with it. Well, I tell you, the official age of this stalagmite here in fantastic Caverns, I have no idea. I'd strike cheap. I mean, I'm not a caveman. I just know very, very, very old. I also know that it takes approximately 100 years for 1 cubic inch of water. Now, a cubic inch of water is smaller than an ice cube. It takes approximately 100 years for that amount of water to drip down onto you. Now, how much minerals is in that 1 cubic inch of water? So we have no idea how old this is. But up ahead, we know exactly how old a particular formation is. So we're going to go up there and take a look at that. Now, I'm ex-military, and so I'm very hard to hear, and I do apologize for that, but I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. So if you have a question, please hold up your hand so I know you got one. I'll be happy to answer. Anybody have any questions? No? All right, let's go up here then and look at a formation that we know just how old it is. Okay, in 1941, springtime, the people that lived next door to the cavern here built a new house. Well, you got a house, you got to have water. So they hired this drilling company to drill them a water well. Well, they start drilling. They drilled down 93 feet and they punched a hole in the ceiling. And they said oops and some other four-letter words because they can't stop drilling. Because you can't leave an open hole like that. So they had to continue drilling down. They drilled down another 50 feet and they hit water. That was springtime of 1941. The water table was high. We had lots of rain there back then. So once they hit water, they put in this well case. Now, whenever they punched a hole in the ceiling, a formation started. You see these little ridges radiating out away from the well case again? Those are called baby cave curtains or baby draperies, just like the 5.5 footer back there. Except these are 3/4 of an inch in length. So it took 83 years to form 3/4 of an inch of cave curtains. How long did it take to form those curtains? That is a cave curtain column. At the base of it, you'll see a white column. That is called a rimstone column. Now, you're going to have a tour guide that says, this here's a perfect column. Well, Mama raised some Oaklands and she raised no Dunkins. That's a well case. But it eventually will become a column. Now, our next stop up here, we're going to have a light show. If anybody is afraid of the dark, all you got to do is close your eyes. You'll be fine. We're going to talk about how the cavern was discovered and how it was explored. Does anybody have any questions?
What's the antenna up there?
What's that, sir?
That antenna, what is that?
That is for our radios in case we have some kind of problem. We can radio up and take everything care of. And we've had that happen before. I run out of gas in one of these. I had to push the dang thing. Guess what? I ain't doing it no more.
I hear you.
So if we run out of gas or anything, guess who's gonna push? I'll hold that for you.
I got some kids. They can push.
You believe me, they're heavy, even without any gas in it. Any other questions? All right, let's get going and have a light show. FYI, they ain't gonna fall. They've been up for 1,000 years. Now, in 1862, a man named John Knox owned this property. Didn't know he had a cavern. Well, one day, him and his dog named Juno, we got a statue of Juno up at the pavilion there. Him and Juno's out hunting. Juno jumped up a critter, chased him into a hole in the hillside. I'm going to show you that hole a little bit later. Now, when Juno went through that hole, 1862, he discovered fantastic cats. So a dog is who discovered this. Well, he was howling his head off because he was in total darkness. Total darkness only occurs two places on earth. That's the bottom of the ocean and in the cabin. So we're going to go into total darkness for just a moment. If it bothers somebody, close your eyes. If it really bothers you, tell me and I'll turn the light back on. All right? Y'all ready?
Yep.
Yeah. This total darkness. Put your hand up in front of your face. You can't see it. You know which way is up, down, sideways? If you was in here for a long period of time, you'd go blind yourself. Now, Juno was howling his head off. So John went and stuck his head in that hole and said, "Oh, I ain't going into that light." So he got a candle. Now, Juno saw that candle and he tore up Jack getting out of there. He didn't like it dark. Once it got out, John covered up the hole so no one would find it. He kept it a secret for 5 years. 1867, 5 years later, he put an ad in the Springfield paper for someone to explore his cavern. Well, the ad was answered by the Springfield Athletic Club, which consisted of 12 young girls between the ages of 12 and 19 years old. They were the ones that explored this cavern. After that, people pay a quarter for a candle and they walk through the cavern. I've done it before. You can do it. Not real fun, but you can do it. So in 1887, a few years later, they said, "We're running out of candles." So they put in a steam-operated generator and Thomas Edison's brand new light bulbs. Now think about this. This was 1887. People had no idea what electricity was. Never heard of it. So this was just awesome. I mean, this was something else. People were camping out just to come in and see the lights. They'd never seen it before. It worked great. Springfield did not get electricity until 1891, and that was just the courthouse downtown. So, and this was really, really cool. Well, it was so good that they kept this same lighting system up until 1970. That's how these little ones, we remember 1970 real well. So this was amazing. But in 1970, they said, you know, it's great, but it doesn't show the true beauty of the cabin. So in 1970, they put in indirect lighting. Now, this is exactly the way it looked in 1887. This is the way it looked in 1970 and today. Completely different cabin. Anybody got any questions? All right, we're going to go up here and take a look at the bottom of the cavern. We're on the top part here. We're going to go look at the bottom.
What are you doing? How are you doing?
Here on the left-hand side here, you're going to see a big sinkhole. That's down the bottom of the cabin. Yeah, big sinkhole. I've seen 20 feet of water in there. That's not the bottom of the cabin. Okay, if y'all want to stand up where you can see better, that'd be just fine. Now we've explored up here for 1 mile. Half a mile this way and half a mile back. This is the bottom of the cavern. It had been explored for 3 miles. So we got 4 miles of cave system that we've explored. Now this is the bottom of the cavern. It's called a wet weather underground river. That means we had to have wet weather outside before we get water in our river here. So we got about 3 or 4 sinkholes somewhere close around here. And when it rains gets in those, then the water will drain down into the bottom of the cavern, and it'll go out this way to a place called Indian Springs, and then it dumps into the Little Sac River. Now, we're 36 feet above the bottom of the cavern. Whenever we get rains in there, the wet weather, we get water in here. That happens quite often, depending on how wet the weather is. 2 months ago, we had 1.5 foot of water in here. That was pretty awesome. Last year, though, we had 30 feet of water in here. That's even awesomer. But that's not the deepest it's been. 2019, Memorial Day weekend, the water came on top of this railing. That's 40 feet of water. We had to shut the cabin down because we ain't got no boats, because I'd done boat tours. Shut it down for 6 days until water finally drained to that white area there, kind of. We started tours back up. Now, like I said, we get water down here quite often. Every 2 to 5 years it floods, and that's awesome to see. I mean, it really is. Now, 10 years ago we had a flood, and we had this scientific dude named Tom, and he came through here and he explored the cabin when it was flooded, and he made a 5-minute movie. We're going to go up here and watch this 5-minute movie. You're going to see him in a little rubber boat with ping pong paddles, paddling through here. Really interesting. Anybody got any questions? Well, you can't stand up all the way, dude. You just have to park it. You ready?
So when it rained this past week, how much water was in here? Because it rained a lot this past week.
Yes, it rained a lot, but Springfield is on the plateau. I know I went down to Salem to see my sister. They got 18 inches of rain. We got maybe 1.5 inches, something like that. We didn't get very much. So we haven't had any in there since about 2 months ago. Any other questions? All right, let's go watch this movie. Let's go to the drive-in. Surface right now. That's why you don't see hardly any stalactites. Cavern continues on for another 150 feet and it ends in a clay bank. You got to crawl the last 40 feet. Now this is pretty interesting. It's only 5 minutes long. I'm going to shut some lights off so I won't leave you in the dark.
are some of our samplers. A spring is the drainage point for a cave system. What I want to do today is give you a look at the whole drainage system, and it's going to be a good day for doing it because we have had a lot of rain the past couple days. Why the spring is so large. Water goes into the cave system through things like sinkholes and then moves through the cave and discharges here at the spring. The flow of the spring today is about 9,000 gallons a minute, and every bit of that goes through fantastic caverns. About 3/4 of the runoff water in the Ozarks moves into cave systems. We're a mile from the spring here at a vertical entrance into the fantastic system. This is one of the most open sinkholes in the whole fantastic cavern system. It's so open, in fact, that walnuts that wash in here make it all the way through the cave. I could do without all the drips, I think, but that's the way the water gets in. And of course, that's not only does water get in that way, that's the way food gets in for the cave animals and contaminants get in too. I believe the jeeps get in some way other than that, though. Off-road! The cave is here because limestone can be dissolved by water. This piece of limestone weighs about a pound. There is this much limestone dissolved in every 1,000 gallons of water discharging from the spring today. You can imagine the enormous volumes of water and long periods of time required to form the cave. Basically, a cave is a drain spring system. Since caves are part of spring systems, storms can flood them and make them dangerous. This isn't your normal Ozark float trip.
Look at this fish coming up. See if you notice anything different about it.
The fish, the crayfish, and most of the other cave animals are tiny, white, and blind. Although they spend their entire lives in the cave, they depend on the surface for their food.
Called Ozark cave fish.
And by working to protect its quality, we can protect the beauty of the cave and preserve our quality of life.
In 1867, those young ladies explored this guy. Would any of you young ladies explore it? Well, let's all not volunteer, won't we? Would you explore it? Why don't you? Would you got that wild look in your eyes? Is he crazy or? Now, those young ladies were very brave. They were very proud. They put their names up on the wall. We're going to go up there and take a look at those names. They put them up there February 27th, 1867. And they're still there. We're going to go by and take a look at them. I'll go real slow so you all can take pictures if you'd like. And who knows, you may be relieved. Does anybody have any questions? Let's go take a look at those girls' names. Okay, what's your name? If y'all look to the right, this is where those young ladies put their names. I'll go real slow so you can get pictures. Here on the right hand side, we got a big rock. You're sitting on the right hand side, there duck your head. I call it headache rock. If you don't duck, you're going to get a headache. Okay, in 1862, Juneau discovered the cavern. John took credit for it. Then he covered it up. He covered it up because 1862 was right in the middle of the Civil War. During the Civil War, the government, both North and South, would declare martial law and take everything you got, and you wouldn't get it back. John didn't want to lose his cabin, so he hid it. So Fantastic Caverns was not in the Civil War. Now, the reason they wanted the caverns so bad is because they were cool, they were dry, and also because of bats. Yeah, bats. Large colonies of bats. If you get large colonies of bats, what are you going to find underneath? Large colonies of bat guano, bat food. Now, that guano contains potassium nitrates, and that's what they were after. So they'd scoop up all the guano, they'd put it in the leaching beam. This is the leaching beam. Fill it full of guano, and then they pour water. Now, potassium nitrate is water soluble. So as the water went down through the guano, it would dissolve the nitrates, and they would come out in a bucket with the rest of the water. They'd take that bucket then over here to a big pot with fire in it, dump it in there and boil it all the way along. Till all the water was boiled away. When the water's all boiled away, you're left with a white crystal-like substance above that pot. That's called saltpeter. They take ashes then, dump them underneath there. Ashes is carbon. They mix that with saltpeter and do fine powder. They then dump it in salt. You mix those three ingredients, you get gunpowder, specifically black powder. And that was what was used during the Civil War, black powder. So if you have got control of most of the caves in a particular area there, then you're going to have control of most of the gunpowder. So, you know, who's going to win? Now, we've got bats in here. Our bats are about the size of a thumb. They are three colors, so we call them tricolor bats. Smallest bats in Missouri, so we call them micro bats. Now, they are simply adorable. If you see one flying, it looks like a fuzzy flying chicken that you dropped on the shag carpet. If you see one hanging by the little feeties from the ceiling, they got little feeties, then they look more like a chicken. And they are just cute as can be. Now, unfortunately, our population is no more than 20 in this whole entire cabin. So the chances you get to see them, pretty slim. One group saw them a week before last. We was going through there. Now, 1921, government passed another law called Prohibition. Prohibition made alcohol illegal. You couldn't buy it, you couldn't sell it, you couldn't do nothing. Who all in here has tasted the moonshine? I seen that. Who all did drink moonshine? Oh well, what the heck. Now, the moonshiners they didn't care whether it was legal or not. They kept making it. And what they done, whenever they passed the law of prohibition, they just went all over the country and opened up illegal bars. They called them speakeasies. They opened up an illegal bar right here in this spot in fantastic Caverns. It's called speakeasy because you're supposed to speak real easy about it because, you know, it's illegal. How many drunks you ever seen keep your mouth shut about anything? So everybody knew about speakeasy, but the law overlooked it because that was probably the most hated law there ever was. This one in here, Fantastic Caverns, lasted for 3 years. Until one guy got 3 sheets in the wind and shot and killed his brother-in-law. That shut down the speakeasy. Now we're going up here to a place called a breakdown. It's not a dance. I'm not swiveling my R3 to Kip's room for nobody. But it's a ceiling collapse. And as we go through here, everybody on this left-hand side, become friends with the people on the right. Get to know them. Because you're going to have to duck off below. All right, any questions? We've got a generally low ceiling here, so everybody watch your head. Now on the left-hand side, this is where you want to introduce yourself to your neighbor. I wasn't kidding. Called a breakdown. Remember in the movie it said it takes 1,000 gallons of water to dissolve 1 pound of limestone. That's what happened here. Thousands of years ago, as the water was coming through here, dissolving the limestone, when it finally receded, we had this big cavern. Well, this particular part right here was so weak that it couldn't hold itself up and it collapsed. That's why it's called a breakdown. It collapsed 3 times. All of this rock here is from up here. None of this is loose, so we don't have to worry about any of it falling in on us. It's all fused together. Here's our present ceiling right now. Now those little black specks are a harmless bacteria. Now here was breakdown number 1, number 2, and 3rd and final one. We hope it's final, but I'm not too worried because without that, let's hold up the ceiling up here. Now, we had a geologist come through here, and he said this would be the safest place to be in the event of an earthquake. I don't want to test his theory, so we're going to get out of here. And as we go through up here, I'm going to tell you all to look up. And you looked up already. We ain't there yet. Somebody always does that, huh? Now, you're going to see the largest collection of stalactites in the cavern system. Then I'm going to show you how those young ladies explored this cavern. Pretty awesome. All right, any questions? All right, let's go up here and look how the girls explored the cavern. In 1867, those young ladies explored this cavern. Now, they didn't have nice flashlights or lanterns. They had what we call a candle lantern. It's a coffee can with a hole punched in the side and a candle stuck through it. And you can see it works real well. Now, they explored this cavern. They came in from up there. I'm going to go over the same path that they did so that you all can see what they saw in 1867. So please don't turn bright lights on so you can get the full effect the way it was back then. Okay? Now don't know why I'm running off either. Carson ain't looking for it. They came down this way. 1867. 12 years old to 19. Nobody can say that they were not afraid. They shine their light all around. Said the light works pretty well. They came down this way. Shine their light around. They got down here. They shined their light over here and said, "Oh my God, those look like giants." Now that's the way they saw it. Here's the way we see it. This is called the Hall of Giants. And these really are giants. This is the twins here. It goes all the way to the end. You ever watch Scooby-Doo? That looks like the ghost at the beginning of Scooby-Doo. When it gets colder, we'll probably have a better chance of seeing the back. Now, this is the lowest part of the cavern. So as we go out here, we came from this formation, we had to hug this wall. So if you're on the left-hand side, the ducking you've done has been practiced. Because it gets really low. As we go through the exit, I'm going to show you what the dog went in. Anybody got any questions? You're awful quiet. When my kids are this quiet, I know they're up to something. All right, here we go. Okay, on the left-hand side, watch your head. Don't go last moment. Let's raise it.
Very late.
Mom, it kind of looks like avocados.
Here, left-hand side, we got a little low spot right here. So watch your head. Okay. As we go out the exit here, everybody's got a duck. I love my job. Okay, it's a low ceiling, so everyone watch your head. Many of you probably don't see position. Hey, everyone watch your head.
made it.
Can I stop recording?
No.
Why?
Yeah, I'm gonna go close this door. They holler at me. Are you getting dripped on?
That's okay.
It's cold.
It is a little cold, yeah.
Well, I didn't say you wouldn't be.
There was a whole dog in it.
Yeah, if everybody would look over here to the right. See this hole right here? Everybody see that? The light's flashing. That's where the dog is. We're right there. Yeah, that's where the dog went in. 5 years later, that's where 12 young ladies crawled on their stomach 20 feet before they could stand up. And they exploded the cabin.
In their dresses.
In their dresses. And we got a surprise. This young lady said she's gonna crawl through there and show us how. All right. Yeah. We don't know what those girls look like, but we know what the latest explorers look like, and that is us. So to thank you all for coming to Fantastic Caverns, we have a free picture, totally free, of the latest explorers. So I'd like to give one to everybody, but I can't because they are free. So if you got a packet, ticket packet, hold it up. Make as many copies as you would like. There you go, girl. You're a good sport, huh? I wouldn't even get my belly through that.
Can I stop recording? I want to stop it.
You bet. Now make as many copies as you would like.
Thank you.
You bet. There's no copyright or anything on it.
Thank you.
You bet.
We're trying to keep it open. Thank you.
It's heavy. I don't want to carry it back.
You're not looking.
Now, if y'all had a good time
You just say.
going tripping, say so. My name is Larry. If you didn't have a good time, my name is Sophie. You were great. Very quiet.
Larry.
Good job, Larry.
Scared me. Thank you, Larry. Whenever my kids are that quiet, I know they're up to something. What was you up to, George? Welcome to the club. Now, don't nobody get out until I get stepped down, please. So, you was a good sport.
Wait, I was right here.
Well, that is you. That's creepy, woman.
What? Let me see.
How do you? You can see him in the sunshine.
Now can I stop?
Yeah, I'll get this step for you all.